Hi, my name is Lindsay Conologue. I'm a licensed veterinary technician with Grand Prix Equine. I'm just going to go through how to do a quick TPR on your horse. It's always a good idea to have an understanding of what normal is for your horse and what might be something that would warrant somebody coming out for maybe an emergency visit to your farm. So first is T for temperature. So we take a rectal temperature on horses. You can use any standard thermometer you would get at the pharmacy. And a normal range for that would be about 98.5 to around 101, 101.5 is getting to the high end of that range. The P of TPR is pulse. So you can listen through a stethoscope if you happen to have one on hand. But if not, there's a couple of other places you can look on the horse, a couple other places you can feel to try to get a good pulse rate on your horse. A normal pulse for a horse would be around 24 to 40, around 44, 48, starting to get a little bit elevated for an average horse. So it's always good to have a good idea of what your horse's normal would be. So even if you're just standing in the barn with your horse one day, maybe just take a pulse rate on it and see what your horse's normal might be. The last one, R for respiration. We usually look at their sides for that to kind of see an inflation and deflation of their lungs. Each one of those is 1. A normal respiration rate for a horse is around 12 to 20. It can get up to maybe 24 if they're a little warm, but getting above that might start to be something to look into a little bit more. So for both your pulse and your respiration, you don't necessarily need to count for a full minute. You can just listen for about 15 seconds and then you're going to multiply whatever number you get by 4 and get your value for both of those. One other thing that it's really helpful to look at, especially if a vet's maybe coming out and you want to be able to give them all the information, you can look at their mucous membranes or their gums and address whether they're hydrated or not, as well as their overall status. So normally their gums should be moist and like a light pink color. If they look super pale or if they're really dark red, that's a little bit concerning and usually means that something is going on with them and that somebody should come take a look. So again, it's a good thing to have a baseline on your horse. If you don't happen to have one and you find yourself in an emergency, you can always go to any other horse in the barn that seems like they're their normal self and compare the values you're getting on your horse to that other horse. They won't necessarily be your horse's exact baseline, but it'll give you a good idea of approximately what it should be. And if your horses are significantly higher or maybe even lower than that, that's always something that you maybe want to look into.